Hello and welcome. It is Sunday, November 8th, 2020, and this is Truly News. I am your host, Jason Van Sickle. I want to start the day by saying that I hope that you are doing well. And whenever you are struggling, remember that you are not alone. Whether or not we behave like it at times, we are all in this together. So, as you go out into the world today, I genuinely wish you the very best with all that you do. To help get things started today in a positive way, let's increase your knowledge and expand your insights with an honest and objective review of today's news. As always, we start our news coverage with a look at the top headline from the nation's 5 largest newspapers. And from USA Today, in his first speech since winning the nomination, Biden delivered a message of unity and healing. He said, quote, "America has always been shaped by inflection points, by moments in time where we've made hard decisions about who we are and who we want to be," unquote. From the Wall Street Journal, with Donald Trump still refusing to concede, Biden addressed a socially distancing crowd with an acceptance speech calling for an end to, quote, "a grim era of demonization in America," unquote. He pledged to be a president that unites and heals the country. From the New York Times, on Saturday, Biden gave his first speech as president-elect, addressing the nation and saying, quote, "This is the time to heal in America," unquote. Kamala Harris became the first woman to be elected vice president, while Donald Trump vowed to continue filing legal challenges. From the Los Angeles Times, as the country still suffers from the pandemic, economic struggles, and deep-seated racial and political divides, Biden's election as the 46th president of the United States brought scenes of joy and spontaneous celebration across the country. And from the Washington Post, Biden's victory came as women and minorities rejected Trump's handling of COVID and his bullying approach to governing that divided the country. Announcements of the win sparked celebrations across the U.S. as Biden gave a tailgate-style victory speech. And here are the stories that are currently crossing the wire at Reuters News. As the country continues to battle a third wave of COVID, on Saturday, Texas became the first state in the U.S. to pass 1 million total cases of the coronavirus. And also from Reuters, on Saturday, the U.S. reported the 4th straight day in a row of new record high cases of COVID, with the count on Saturday topping 130,000 new cases. And those are your top headlines for today. Now, in our look beyond the major headlines, let's start with news from the world of science, technology, and space exploration. In science news from Science Daily, based on the search for planets that was done by NASA using the Kepler Space Telescope, of the estimated 300 million planets that exist around other suns, it is believed that as many as half could be environments that potentially sustain life. In technology news, from MIT Technology Review, social media companies struggle to police misinformation and deal with claims of bias during the election. Those problems stemmed from the fact that companies like Twitter and Facebook do not have clear guidelines that are consistently enforced. In space news, from space.com, as SpaceX ramps up its satellite system to provide planet-wide internet, another company, AST, is also working on plans for hundreds of its own internet satellites. However, NASA has stated that AST's plan could cause collisions with existing satellites. And that is your science, technology, and space news for today. Now, here is our announcer, Ron Johnson, with a word from today's sponsor.
Today's sponsor is the Hula Hoop Fanatic, with the world's largest inventory of hula hoops. They have many styles that include traditional hoops, competition hoops, LED lighted hoops, and even their new Bluetooth-enabled hula hoops that track your performance and include a low jack security system that protects your hoop from theft. Every hoop is also custom sized using their selfie photo based sizing app. Thank you to Hula Hoop Fanatic for today's sponsorship.
Thank you, Ron. We now return to our review of today's news with a look at health, social, and environmental news. In health news from U.S. News and World Report, it is important to know the factors that can contribute to a stroke, and the top factors include diet, lack of exercise, smoking, alcohol, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, high blood sugar, stress, and abnormal heart rhythm. In social news from the Gallup Polling Agency, a recent Gallup poll found that 84% of Americans believe that the news media is either very important or critical to democracy. However, 86% of the people also said that there is some level of political bias in the media, with Republicans more likely to perceive that bias. In environmental news from Science News, as wildfires become more common and widespread, concern is increasing over the health risks associated with the smoke that is traveling hundreds of miles. For many communities, wildfire smoke is quickly becoming a new form of potential air pollution. And that is your health, social, and environmental news for today. Now it is time for our Words of Wisdom, brought to us by philosophy professor Albert Feinstein. And here is Dr. Feinstein.
Hello and welcome. Today's words of wisdom come from Winston Churchill, who said, "Success is not final. Failure is not final. It is the courage to continue that counts." Churchill reminds us that life takes work. When we succeed, then we need to work to maintain that success. When we fail, then it is not the end, because success is always possible as long as we keep trying. The key is to stay dedicated and not give up. And those are your words of wisdom for today. Until next time, keep seeking wisdom and believing in your incredible potential. Good luck.
Thank you, Dr. Feinstein. We appreciate your words of wisdom and your encouragement. And now we return to the news with a look at economic and world news. In economic news from CNN, the most recent jobs report showed that the U.S. added 638,000 jobs to the economy last month. That is a month-over-month improvement, but the total number of jobs that have been lost and not yet recovered since the pandemic started still totals over 10 million. In world news, from the BBC, the United Arab Emirates, a key ally of the United States, has passed new legislation to overhaul its Islamic-based laws. Among the changes are harsher penalties for the killing of women by family members based on incidents believed to bring dishonor to the family. And that is your economic and world news for today. In entertainment news, we start with new movies, and today's movie is The Way I See It. And here's the description from IMDb. This documentary is about the former chief official White House photographer Pete Souza's journey documenting President Obama. The Way I See It is now available to rent on YouTube. Moving on, in newly released shows, today's show is Next. And here's the description from IMDb. A former CEO joins a Homeland cybersecurity agent to stop the emergence of a rogue artificial intelligence. Season 1 of Next is showing on Fox now. Finally, in entertainment news, we look at newly published books. And our book for today is Three Women Disappear by James Patterson and Shan Seraphin. This book is presently number 4 on the New York Times fiction bestseller list. And here is the summary from Amazon. A man is murdered in his home. Sarah, his personal chef, Anna, his wife, and Serena, his maid, all had access. Now, all 3 women are missing. Three Women Disappear is now available at your local bookstore and in print, audiobook, and Kindle formats on Amazon. And that is your entertainment news for today. As always, we end our broadcast with Hope for Humanity, stories about the goodness and kindness that people show each other every day. And here is today's story. From the Palm Springs Desert Sun. 2nd through 5th graders at the Boys and Girls Club of Palm Springs are learning about geography and kindness through a rock swap. The kids are swapping rocks with other Boys and Girls Club members in different states with the goal of decorating their rock park with rocks that are painted and represent the states that they are from. This helps the kids to learn about other places while sharing in acts of kindness and friendship. And that is your news for November 8th, 2020. Have a wonderful day.